As video makers, there are a lot of things that we will use to get the shot. Tripods, sliders, even cameras. These are the obvious tools that we have come to know and love for pretty much any kind of video. But what about the less obvious stuff? The things that don't get talked about quite as much but are still very useful? Well, today I want to show you a few of those things. Starting things off with this right here, this is the Aputure Mt Pro and it does literally everything. I have had other light tubes in the past. Generally, I never really cared for them because I found them cheap, plasticky, and the light quality wasn't all that great. But the Mt Pro is the real deal. Now let's say we want to get a nice hero shot of this drink can here as it spins around, maybe the camera's pushing in on a slider. A typical way of lighting a shot like this would be to have a big key light. A lot of people have circular light domes or strip light diffusers, but what's really cool about these Aputure Mt Pros is that they actually work exceptionally well as key lighting for a product like this. So what I've got here is one of our Mt Pros on one of the included Aputure tripods. I'm going to turn this on here and place it beside our can like so, and then I'm going to take my other Mt Pro, turn that on as well, and just have it freestanding off to the side here. Now, lighting is obviously one of those creative choices where you can sort of decide where you want to place your lights, how dramatic do you want it to look on your subject. You can move one of the lights more behind to have a darker front, or you could bring it more in front to make the whole can a bit brighter. You can remove one light altogether to make it look really dramatic. But for this shot, I'm going to keep both just like so on either side, giving us that nice, elegant, and premium look. So let's go ahead and get our shot. I'll let the camera slide in here as our can turns around. And here is what the shot looks like with this simple lighting setup. As you can see, this setup already gives us that ultra premium look, but let's go ahead and see what it looks like if we remove one of the lights from the shot. Now, clearly with only one light, this is going to look a lot more dramatic. It really just comes down to what you're going to prefer for your video. Another thing we can do, we can set this to a nice warm hue using the RGB settings, placing this just out of the frame a bit behind the can. And I'm just going to turn down the strength of this light here to give us a really dramatic look. And now we can go ahead and see what this looks like. Keep in mind, we're not using any other lighting. It's literally just these two lights here. I think it's pretty crazy the results you can get, and we are hardly scratching the surface as to what you can do with these. Moving along now, we've got one of my favorites. This is the Moment Cinebloom Filter 10%. If you've been watching my videos for a little while, you might have noticed this on my lens for all of my product videos going back a couple of years now. Now what this does is you put this filter on your lens and it blooms out your highlights, hence the name Cinebloom. Now if I just hold up my flashlight here and take our filter and put it in front of the lens, you can see how that really softens up that highlight. It gives it a glow. It also gives the whole image an overall softer look. Now let's say you're getting a shot where you're going to use your standard light box as your key light, but you also want to have some practical lighting in the background of your shot. Practical lighting, for those of you who don't know, is when you actually have the light source in the shot itself. You can actually see the lights in the background of the shot. Well, what we have here is our two Aputure Mt Pro tubes in behind our can here. What we're going to do is we're going to get the same shot twice, once without the Cinebloom filter, and then after that, we're going to take our filter, put it on the camera, and compare the two shots. So here is our shot without the Cinebloom filter. As you can see, it looks pretty cool, nothing too crazy. But now let's bring the camera back here and pop this filter on, and already you can see the difference of how those lights in the background glow. So let's get our shot one more time. And look at how much more dramatic that looks. Now, the Cinebloom filter is useful for a couple of things when it comes to product videos. Like you just saw, when you have practical lighting in your shot, it can really bloom those out, diffuse that light, make it look more dreamy and dramatic. But let's say you're in a scenario where you want to put a hard spotlight on a part of a product. Maybe it's on the label or on the edge of a product. Well, the Cinebloom filter can really flatten that out, diffuse it, make it look more flattering, more dreamy. This is really ideal for a lot of types of products because you don't always want that really harsh clinical look. Now this right here is actually a clear plastic serving tray. I got this from Walmart for $1.50 in the party supply section. And this is great for when I've been out maybe a little bit too late watching sports with my buddies. Sarah's mad at me, so I've got to bring her breakfast in bed in the morning. But apart from that, I'm actually going to kick it over to one of my favorite accounts on Instagram to tell you a little bit more about clear trays and how they're useful for product videos.
Sometimes the most straightforward item can be an amazing solution that just works on camera. I've been using these acrylic trays for quite some time now, and they are efficient, easy to use, and simply just versatile. I use them mostly in my top-down shots as it's very easy to hide them in this angle. Instead of pouring water, glitter, rocks, or sand on the table, you just keep it in the tray. Also, you can easily manipulate the water or props without them getting everywhere. You can also raise the tray and shine some light through it to create some cool effects and add depth to your videos. Not only you can put stuff in it, you can also place your decorations underneath and create various textures and finishes that look great on camera. I hope I inspired you to try something new, and thank you, Daniel, for letting me share my tips with your audience.
Now, when it comes to clear trays like this, you do have a few options. You can get a clear plastic serving tray like the one I have here, or you can go to a home goods store and get an acrylic tray. You can go to Home Depot and buy pieces of acrylic and assemble it yourself. It really just depends what you need it for, because there isn't really a one-size-fits-all solution. Now, moving along, we've got a Ziploc bag, also known as a freezer bag, or as I like to call it, the Super Launcher 5000. To me, the Ziploc bag is still the undefeated, most simple and convenient way to launch any small object into the air, whether that's snacks like chips or cereal, or maybe it's fruits and veggies, maybe it's coffee beans, whatever it may be, this is the way to go. All right, in 3, 2, 1, boom. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Now this right here is green Gaffer's tape. It comes in handy constantly. You can think of this stuff as being kind of like Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. Whatever you put the green tape on, you can key it out of your shot and it makes for a great effect. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video and if you would like me to make a follow-up with some more items that are overlooked for product videos. Make sure you give it a like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at daniel.schiffer, and as always, I will see you in the next video.